Jimara and other tribes, and pay our respect to the elders past and present.
We begin our prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, in your loving care, bless our college community and the school year that lies ahead. May we always be prepared to make a difference in our world. Open our minds to know, think and understand. Open our hearts to love, appreciate and belong. Open our hands to serve, create and lead. May we know you are with us in all that we do.
Good afternoon, special guests, staff and students. I trust by now the 2017 academic year has started smoothly for you and you've settled quickly into your new classes and started working with your teachers and with your peers. Welcome to this first whole school assembly for 2017. Throughout the year, we're going to take advantage of this newly opened Emmanuel Centre to come together as a whole school at least once a term. Why? Why have whole school assemblies? Until now, it has been virtually impossible for our school community to comfortably gather as one. However, gathering together is vitally important to all of us and our understanding of who we are and what we value. Coming together as a whole school community, rather than year levels or campuses, means we can celebrate and recognise all those in our community who succeed in the many ways that are possible at Emmanuel. It's also an opportunity for us to be inspired by the success of others, including current and former staff and students. Being inspired by others helps us to recognise that an Emmanuel education is an excellent education. It is one that provides us with the keys we need to open the doors that will take us to where we want to go in life. When we come together as a community, we are reminded that we share this journey with one another, and everything we do while on our journey can help or hinder someone else as they make their journey through life. Today we will see and hear inspiring members of the Emmanuel family, current students, recent graduates, and those who finished some time ago. Each one is different, but they all have in common their Emmanuel story, and their story can help us to shape our story. Their stories help us to identify and learn to use the keys that will open the door to our future. Today's assembly is also about leadership. Later we will hear from our captains who will talk more about the 2017 college theme. And with today's assembly, we also begin a new Emmanuel tradition. You'll all be familiar with the way the Olympic torch is passed from one runner to another in the lead up to the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, or the baton passed between runners competing in a relay, or perhaps the royal sceptre passed on when a king or queen is invested, or even the parliamentary mace carried into the chamber at the beginning of a new government. Each of these is a symbol of leadership. And today I want to introduce to you a new symbol of leadership for Emmanuel College, the Emmanuel Torch. And each year, the Emmanuel College Leadership Torch will be passed from one group of leaders to the next group of leaders. It probably will be difficult for you to see the torch, but it's on the table at the front, and I want to talk about it briefly. Where does our torch come from? More than a year ago, I asked art teacher, Mrs. Cullum, if she would design a symbol of leadership to use at important ceremonies and events. Something that could be passed to each new group of leaders and symbolise the importance of leadership in our school and our community. Mrs. Cullum's design incorporates several features. It is shaped like a baton so it's easy to pass from one to another. It reflects light, as light is the great Christian symbol of hope, and good leaders share light and bring hope to those they lead. It's strong, encouraging each one of us to be strong and to have courage in the face of challenge and adversity. The torch is made in 3 parts, and the use of 3 different materials, glass, wood and resin, represent our Catholic heritage of the Trinity, the Father, the Son and Holy Spirit. Our 3 campuses, Macaulay, Rice and Gould. The college motto, sharing faith, hope and love. And the development of our school, past, present and future. Today, I thank Mr Wakeem and glass artist Philby from the Tin Shed Glass Studio in Terang, who worked together with Mrs Cullum to bring the design together into the Emmanuel torch that from today becomes for us a symbol of leadership, a symbol that calls all of us to be leaders in the Emmanuel way.
Please join me in welcoming Stella to deliver her address as the 2016 Emmanuel College does. Good afternoon. I feel very lucky to have been asked to speak at this opening assembly because it gives me the chance to highlight how supportive Emmanuel College has been throughout my 6 years here. Secondary school isn't easy. As you move up through the year levels, there is a greater expectation on you to not only perform academically, but to make informed decisions. It's daunting. But to make it as easy as you can, you must find a balance between your student life and your life outside of school. Family, friends, part-time jobs, sports, after-school activities, they all play a role in balancing your life. But there isn't a formula. That balance is specific to you. Succeeding at school isn't necessarily about doing what everyone else is doing. It's not about punishing yourself for not being the same. It's about challenging yourself and finding something you love, or even something you really don't like. It's one more thing crossed off the list of possible paths. That doesn't mean that you should leave things until the last minute, because believe me, doing maths assignments the night before they are due is not well balanced. I would know. But just because someone else studies for 4 hours each night doesn't mean you have to. And vice versa, just because someone doesn't study at all doesn't mean you should boycott study altogether. Don't compare yourself to others because it's not worth it. Everyone in this hall has a path and a future, and a lot of decisions to make that are their own. I spent a lot of my time worrying about what other people thought of me, or what other people were doing with their time, or how they were studying, and that really wasn't what was important. If you manage to take anything away from a speech from someone who doesn't even go here anymore, please remember to be kind to yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people, or you'll just end up worrying about little things that, in the long run, don't really matter. Live in the moment and find a balance that is right for you. There is no cookie-cutter high school experience. It's what you make of it. So do what you enjoy and figure out where you want to go. In saying that, I have no idea where I'd like to be in the future, and that's all right. I'm going to university where I'll be studying what I enjoy, which is history. If you're sitting here not knowing what you want to do when you finish school, that's okay. Make the choices that best suit you, so that when you do finish, you are taking the right path for you, not one that other people say you should. Things will be stressful, sometimes scary, and not just because of your schoolwork. The people around you will change, and the world around you will change. But remember that you are not alone. You are a part of a community, this community. There will always be someone there to listen to you, a parent, a sibling, a friend, a teacher. You are never alone in your struggles, and there is always someone on your side. I will look very fondly upon my time at Emmanuel, and I won't tell you it goes quickly, because when you're stuck in a classroom staring at the clock, it seems to go anything but quickly. But take advantage of the time that you have here, because once it's done, it's done. Take the opportunities presented to you, or make some of your own. Spend your time as a student on your terms, not on the terms of what you think your peers expect from you. You are unique, and you must make your own decisions. And when you come to the end of it, I hope you will look back with pride on your own time at Emmanuel College, and remember that you made it what it was with the support of this community. I wish you all the very best of luck for 2017. Thank you.
This afternoon, we welcome Alicia Boyd to speak to us. Alicia completed her secondary education at Emmanuel College, graduating as a Year 12 Dux of the college in 1996. Alicia attended the University of Melbourne, where she studied physiotherapy, and once qualified, practiced physiotherapy at St Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne. Upon returning to Warrnambool, she commenced work at St John of God Hospital and was integral in the development of the services from sole contract physiotherapist to the large multidisciplinary department it is today. As a senior clinician and qualified lymphedema therapist, her work is now closely linked to the South West Regional Cancer Centre. So I would ask Alicia to come forward as we welcome her. Thanks, Alicia.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today during this, the first school assembly of the year. As part of the graduating class of 1996, I was a member of the first year level of students to have completed their entire secondary education at Emmanuel. At the time, we were not fully aware of the significance of this, as we didn't know anything else. With time and perspective, however, it is with pride that I reflect that I was a part of that piece of Emmanuel's history, a history that even today is carried forward and honoured. By way of background, I went to primary school at Grasmere Primary School and was one of only 2 students from Grasmere to come to Emmanuel for secondary education. I followed the path of my parents, my grandparents and my great-grandparents. And now I'm excited to watch my oldest son, Ethan, commence his secondary education here this year. Walking around Emmanuel as part of Ethan's orientation process, my husband and I were very impressed to see by how much school has grown in the 20 years since we were here. The facilities, options and opportunities are amazing, and with the vision for future growth, these will only continue to increase. Having gathered for our 20-year reunion last November, this opinion was shared by our former classmates, whilst we enjoyed reminiscing about our time at Emmanuel, which didn't seem so long ago. I've always had a love of learning. I enjoyed school and the opportunities that were offered. I was keen to participate in many of the extracurricular activities, especially those that related to my sport of choice, running, and the various leadership roles that I held. My love of learning continues with various courses, conferences, and the development of new skills. I feel that I was lucky to have identified an area of professional interest at a young age. When asked as a child what I wanted to be when I grew up, I had always replied something in health. I wanted to make people better. I didn't want to be a doctor or a nurse, but they were the only professions I knew. During late primary school, the TAC ran an advertising campaign regarding the importance of wearing seatbelts. At the end of the ad is a scene from a rehabilitation unit, which we'll play for you now.
Just do that right knee. Okay. 1, 2, stand up. That's it. Bring the arms forward. Now just take slow, deep breaths. Hold on. There we go. Bend your knee. Hold on, Katie. Bend your knee. Let yourself down slowly. Okay. Tomorrow it'll be fine. It'll be easier each day. I'm just so sick of this.
When I saw that ad, I knew that was what I wanted to do. Help people to recover from injury. Now I had a name for the job I wanted to do when I grew up. I wanted to be a physiotherapist. I believe this helped me at school, having a goal I could work towards and focus on, a goal that directed my subject choices, my work experience placements, and finally, my university preferences. Whether it is related to study, sport, or other areas of my life, I value goal setting as a strategy to help me get to where I want to be. It is also something that I use regularly with my patients in my role as a physiotherapist, setting a goal and then breaking it down into steps and guiding them to achieve it. With the support of my family and the staff at Emmanuel, I was successful in receiving a first-round offer to my first preference, the University of Melbourne, to study a Bachelor of Physiotherapy. Moving to Melbourne, I was well equipped for the transition from supported secondary education to the more independent university teaching. Many of the teachers who helped me achieve my goal of studying to be a physiotherapist are here today and prepared to help you to achieve your goals. The Catholic values of Emmanuel College are important to me and fit well with the career in the health sector. Being a health professional is an incredibly rewarding job. To be trusted by someone when they are vulnerable through injury or illness and to help them achieve their goals is an amazing privilege. To share in their fear and hope and to be a positive influence that helps contribute to their recovery is something that I am truly grateful for. Many of my health professional friends and colleagues have worked around the world with their Australian university qualifications, with sporting organisations, in private practice, hospitals and health administration. I can highly recommend the health field as a wonderful career path with its many and varied professions, opportunities and rewards. Who in 2012, at the age of 14, survived an assassination attempt by the Taliban. She was targeted because she had been actively campaigning the importance of education. The contrast of what she endured for the opportunity to be educated and the freedom and opportunity you have couldn't be further apart. I use Malala's story to highlight your own responsibility to maximise your potential. You have the privilege of freedom to access education in a school with staff and facilities to assist you in every possible way. I came across a story on the internet that explains the privilege of education in another way. Imagine you are sitting in a classroom with a rolled up ball of paper and all you have to do is throw that ball into the rubbish bin to achieve your goals. Those in the front row have a definite advantage over the rest of the class. As students, you need to be aware of this privilege and use your education to try to achieve great things. You also have a responsibility to advocate for those less fortunate than you, those in the rows behind. In my opinion, you, as students of Emmanuel, are in the front row, and all you have to do is throw the paper in the bin. All you have to do is focus on your goals and try. I wish you all the very best for your studies. May you maximise the opportunities that you are given. May you dream big, keep your goals in focus, and remember, as a student at Emmanuel College, anything is achievable. Thank you.